Prince Charles and Princes William and Harry are on their way to St James's Palace, Charles's London home, where, of course, the Diana, Princess of Wales's body is resting in the Chapel Royal. This is the scene we're seeing now, slightly shaky picture outside St James's Palace, of the crowds awaiting the arrival of the boys, who of course we saw earlier outside Kensington Palace. This is back now to our aerial view of Buckingham Palace. The Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh have just arrived, spent about 15 minutes viewing for themselves those extraordinary scenes, talking with people in the crowd, taking bouquets, adding them to that vast sea of white you can see just up against the gates of Buckingham Palace before going inside.
Extraordinary, isn't it, that it seems to me that on all the big occasions, one thinks recently of the VE Day celebrations and so on, and the royal wedding in 1981, the sun comes out and you get that sort of picture, huge amount of sunshine, the shadow thrown by that great building on the left, Buckingham Palace. It always seems to be that sort of day, but of course, even if it was pouring with rain, if it was freezing cold, it wouldn't have mattered. The crowds would still be there in vast numbers. And now we're going over now. This is St James's Palace. You see how close the two palaces are. This is St James's Palace, where the princes, we are told, are... The princes, when I say that, I mean the Prince of Wales and his sons, Prince William and Harry, are now inside St James's Palace, the London home of the Prince of Wales, and where the coffin of Diana, Princess of Wales, is resting in the Chapel Royal there. And at some stage, the Prince and his sons will pay their respects to the Princess of Wales.
This, of course, where those huge queues were to sign the books of condolence. Those books now being closed temporarily from 1 o'clock this afternoon until Princess Diana's funeral is over.
The Chapel Royal is more or less, I'm going to say in the centre of your picture as you look at it, not really quite in the centre, to the right of the centre. The road you see running there, it's fronts it. It's the white building on the, just above the ITN Live sign. There's a white building there you can see, and just beyond and to the right of that, well, no, I'm wrong actually, really opposite it is the Chapel Royal, where that coffin has been since late Sunday night.
Yes, the main building that we're looking at is St James's Palace, and then just across the road is the Chapel Royal, and public are not allowed now to go down that road just for the time being.
The Chapel Royal, where those crowds are now, we can see just above the ITN Live logo there.
There's the other one. That's the Queen's Chapel, I think, in the road. Isn't some people mistake that for it? But of course, it's the Chapel Royal, where the Princess is lying. And there's Buckingham Palace. You see again. I keep saying this, but these palaces are quite close together, and very close together. Just a few minutes' walk. Kensington Palace, on the other hand, where the Prince of Wales and his sons were earlier, that's quite a way off. That's about a mile away. Let's go back to Kensington Palace.